With me now is Tom Colgan from F&M Bank. He's a Senior Executive Vice President. And thank you, Tom, for joining me for Your Business Matters.
Thanks for having me, Tom. Appreciate it.
The first question I want to ask you is a little bit of historical information about F&M Bank, where it is, and which operations do you oversee?
Well, in Minnesota, we have offices in Vadnais Heights and Lino Lakes. Our history is in Minnesota about since early 2012 when we bought these couple banks from the FDIC. The heritage of the bank dates back to 1925.
Oh, you've been around that long?
Absolutely. Our holding company is based in Manchester, Iowa.
Okay.
We have offices there, Cedar Rapids, Anamosa, and downtown Cedar Rapids.
Okay. And the bank, would it be considered like a middle-size group of banks, somewhat between U.S. Bank and a local bank operation?
I would say the best way to define this is a true community bank. I mean, we can do loans north of $5 million, and we also would help the small businessman or someone walking in with as low as a $5,000 loan.
Okay, and that's part of what I wanted to talk a little bit about today is the role of the banking institutions in our community and small business, because that's what we're all about. And are you part of any of the programs that are sponsored through the Small Business Administration?
Absolutely. We do the small business loans, and most notably the real estate loans where an individual would only have to put down 10%, and the bank does 50%, and the SBA helps out and does about 40%. So that's been very fluid.
And when you say that type of loan, what would that loan be for? You said real estate loan?
Yeah, a real estate loan. That's where folks need a lot of help when they're expanding. A lot of them have been renting space in the past and want to take the next step. Yeah.
So this would be when a business would actually maybe purchase a building or build on to their present site.
Correct, yeah. And that's been the most active, I think. The SBA loans for business have always been out there, but the rates have been just tremendous, and with the low down payment, someone can actually own a building. It's really a great opportunity now to do it.
And so they can purchase a building for as low as 10%, and then assuming that they're qualified for the loan.
Absolutely. And most folks have been in business for a while and have been renting. They could evidence the payment history on the rents, and it's really not that big of a step up to actually purchase the building with cash flow. Okay.
Are there other SBA loans too that businesses can take advantage of if they come to your bank?
Absolutely. There's a host of small business loans that go from $25,000 on up. So really it's just customizing the kind of request to the programs that are out there. But being a community bank and being well capitalized, if we can save them the cost of and the paperwork of doing an SBA loan, we've started a host of businesses.
So there are other opportunities then for small businesses other than just going through the going through the SBA process.
Absolutely, yeah. Again, because we have a strong balance sheet, we can customize that and leverage that to help people who want to just start out, and we'll go conventional with them. And we don't need the SBA, so we've done a few of those as well.
That sounds quite interesting. Yep. So I want to get back a little bit to your bank. Do you know how much capital or how much business the F&M banks have done over the past year or so? Like, what is their...
Yeah, our asset size is about, for people who really want to know, it's like $350 million
That's
in total assets.
Quite a bit, yeah.
And from my perspective and the customer's perspective, it allows us to do a deal size around the $5 million mark. And I'd say we start hitting our head on the ceiling with customers with sales in excess of, let's say, $40 million. But so you can see we can pretty much do any of the deals. I'd say 95% of the deals that are out there are a lot smaller than that threshold.
Okay, that's really, really interesting. Now, you also mentioned about business loans that can go down as low as 25,000?
We just did one. We just did one for $1,500. That's part of our role to be a community bank.
Really, a business loan?
Yes. And,
Wow.
and those small loans get to be larger loans over time. It's difficult to walk into an established customer that's had a 20-year banking relationship and think you're going to win that business over in a matter of minutes. It's not. It takes time. And the easiest way to generate business is to find people who are looking to start out or are at that crossroads with their business and maybe looking to grow, and that's where we step in. So we think we need them all, but it's great to grow the little ones.
Well, I want to get go a little bit further in that. Let's say that somebody wants to start a business and they think they need $25,000. We'll use that just as a hypothetical number. What are some of the things that they would need to do? Now, let's say this is their first business venture, okay? They need $25,000. They come to your bank and say, I need $25,000 to start this business. What are some of the things that you are going to be looking for when somebody makes that type of a proposition to your bank?
I think the easiest thing is facilitating the money. I think the most important issue is to sit down and listen to them and find out where they are now, where they want to go, and ask a lot of the questions that one would really need to know. Have they really prepared for it? Have they been in the business? Do they have the cash flow not only to buy the equipment but to wait to collect the money and finance those receivables? So again, coming up with $25,000 is easy. It's just making sure you position the client to succeed. And I think those are some of the value-added conversations we can have as a community bank and get in and talk to somebody. As opposed to, as you know, at the big banks, it's all formula-driven. Have you been in business less than 5 years? That's a negative. Are you in the contracting business? That's a negative. So it's all scorecard-driven. At the community bank like ours, you can talk to a person and garner some value.
So you can actually talk to somebody. You don't have to.
Well, I hope so.
You don't have to go through a computerized voicemail system for several hours.
No, we need all the help we can get, and we'd be happy to talk to anybody.
That sounds great. Now, do you ever talk to people about preparing themselves if they want to get a loan, like putting together some sort of a statement of purpose? Or
Sure.
Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I think the biggest problem people get into when they borrow money is that, again, they don't really look at a cash flow analysis. They really don't understand sometimes accounts receivable turn, accounts payable turn, how to finance these opportunities. They see the business aspect of it, but visiting with us, I mean, we can get a personal financial statement, we can look at tax returns, but most small businesses, it's what we call a global cash flow. I mean, most of these small business owners live off of that business, and you have to look at the holistic view. But it's just spending time and listening.
I think that that's really important for somebody, if they're going into business, to be able to sit back and to hear some of the analysis that they would need to have in order to be successful, the cash flow and some of the other things. So I think, would it be safe to say it would be important for somebody to go in and talk to their individual banker if they're planning to go into business, even if they have to do some additional work in order to get a loan, because getting a better understanding of what they need to do.
Absolutely. And I think even that the more established businesses want to come in and talk to us and find out what's the smart money doing? What are the big guys doing? How did they get to $45 million in revenues? What do I need to be doing now to position myself? It's not just the startup businesses, it's the other companies that want to take the next step.
Great. And if somebody wants to get a hold of you or F&M Bank, what do they need to do?
Well, you can call my direct line and I'll give it to you here.
Okay.
It's 651 788 0456.
0456.
And I look down because I don't call it very often. So.
Okay.
And or visit our website, fmbank.biz.
Okay, that's easy.
Pretty straightforward.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming in and being part of this interview for Your Business Matters.
Thanks for having me, Tom. I sure appreciate it.
Yep, thank you.
You've been watching Your Business Matters. For more information on this program or the White Bear Area Chamber, visit www.whitebearchamber.com.